In this video, I'll show you how to add contacts into the phone book of these three fax machines. I'll do the demo on one of them, but the same idea will follow through for all three. The phone book in WinFax, let me actually fire this up first and I'll show you the phone book feature. Okay, let me start up WinFax Manager. I'll maximize this. WinFax have a phone book that we typically use to actually send out faxes to the 5,000 schools in Ontario. Now, it doesn't mean we actually have just schools within the system. We can add as many contacts as you want within this phone book. And I'll actually go through with the structure in quite a bit in a couple of minutes so you can actually see how this works. Um, let's first start by actually creating some folders in here, actually create a bit of a structure to add the contacts in. What we'd like to do, usually we actually, on each day, we send out a set of contacts. So to actually simplify this, I'm going to create folders for each day of the week that's going to contain contacts that's going to get faxed on that particular day. So start by creating a new folder. I'll call this one Monday. I'll create another one. Call it Tuesday. Another call Wednesday. Another one called Thursday. And the last one called Friday. Now the type of information I can import in here is a comma separated file. Now WinFax also support DBase2 and TextWorks and other different type of file, but the common one that we'll be able to use is an AXI text file that's going to be tab separated or tab delimited. I don't have the files as yet, so we'll come back to this step in a bit. Let me just minimize this window. The fax contacts are located under File Store and File Store. This link that is presented on each one of these computers within our network. Go to Contacts and select Fax List and open the Fax List Excel file. Earlier, I said we had 3 fax machines. Now, this list, the first sheet on this list is the master list. It contains all, it contains all of the contacts, all 5,000 contacts that we actually send faxes to. So just a little more than 5,000, we have 5,605 contacts in this list. On each machine here, these tabs represent each machine. Machine 1 on Monday, these are the contacts that will be sent. And this is just a section of contacts selected from the master list. On Tuesday for machine 1 and so forth. And for machine 2, there is a set of contacts for Monday and so forth. And then here is machine 3 set of contacts. Now, if somebody calls and asks you if they want to be removed from the fax list, this is the list that you'll come and delete the contact from. So whenever we're ready to update a fax on a weekly basis, that fax list, we'll know there is one place on the network that has the most up-to-date list with the contacts that don't want to have or don't want to receive faxes. Okay, so we need to save this in a format that we can actually import in that phone book in a WinFax system. So start by, you can actually press Ctrl A and it's going to select the rows and the columns with data. So you can go through and you can verify that, yes, just the rows and columns are selected right now. You want to copy that information, create a new Excel file. You want to paste that information in there. Go to File, Save As. Put this file in a location that might be easy to access through the network. I have a personal folder that I keep my files in. I'll go onto the Tulsi drive. I'll select Fax List. I'll select the file type as a tab delimited file. And I'll call this M1-Monday. It's going to ask me if I want to replace this file, so just say yes to that. Okay, okay, you can hit no to this one and close the file, the temporary file that you open. Now you want to go ahead and do this the same thing for each one of these machines. So this one going to be like M1-TUES, M1-WEND, and so forth. And the same thing when you hit on machine 2, you want to do the same thing. You'll be doing M2-MON and so forth. Having all of these in a tab delimited file. If we look at this, I'm just going to open my U drive. If you look at one of these files, they are just a simple text file, so we can edit it. And each one of the contacts is separated by a tab, and that's how the WinFax phone book will read each one of these records in. Okay, let's go ahead and try to import one of the one machine one, fax one that is. Let's try to import the first week. So first thing first, I need to get back to that location where I saved it. So in the run menu, I'll type in, I want to go to the file store server, store dash, hit enter. Now it asks me for a password here. Now you can use your local login. So I'm going to use my credentials to log in here. So let's say CTOR1 star. Okay, I might gain access to the file system. Select the drive for the folder that you saved it in. In my case, I saved it in my folder. And select the faxless folder. Now I'm going to copy this location because I'm going to need it in here to actually import those contacts in. Now, it doesn't matter which folder I select in here. I'm just going to have Friday selected and right click and click on import. I want to ASCII file with the location, paste it, Control V, click on the select button, go into the fax list file, open up Monday, click on next. Now in here is actually give you an option to actually if you want to import the first row as a data. Now the first row is a data row for us, so we will import it. If you had names in here like code and school name and phone number and board and things like that, you might not want to import the first row. In that case, you'll click on this and it's going to ignore the first row. For our case, just make sure this option is selected. Click on next. We'll map the school name, the company. We'll map the person first and last name to the first name field. We'll map the fax number to the fax number field. And we'll map the board name into the CSID field. The CSID field is if the person have a digital fax with a LCD, it usually displays the fax number. In this case, it's going to display it as it's coming from the TDSP. Select which folder you want to have this information open. And that's why it didn't really matter earlier which folder we had selected up here. Select Monday, click Finish. Okay, 373 recipient records imported. You can click on Monday to verify this, and there we go. We have all those records imported. Now, the same procedure follow for the rest of the folder. Again, it doesn't matter which folder you have selected. Just right click and import the file. Select the file you wish to import. Let's say we want to do Tuesday now for machine 1. Click next. Again, we'll do the same thing. The company name, the contact, the fax number, and the CSID. And we put this in Tuesday. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and fill out the rest of them. And we'll continue with this in a bit. Okay, we are back. As you'll see, in each one of these folders, I have all the contacts imported in. There's nothing obviously in the waste basket. Whenever you, by the way, about the waste basket, whenever you delete something from this folder, it will come into the general phone book waste basket. That's a good thing to note if by accidentally you delete all the contacts. You can always restore it from the waste basket. If you permanently delete something from the waste basket, however, it's gone forever. So right now we don't have a cover page, and the cover page section in this area is where we'll be putting the various promos we'll be faxing out. So I'll go ahead and switch over back to my PC and open CorelDRAW. We usually design all promos in CorelDRAW, and all the promos basically for faxing and regular mail design in this program. I'm going to go ahead and also open the fax template that I had created for this section. Okay, under this folder there's something called FRG manufacturing. That's whoops, I should actually go through this with you. File store, templates, FRG manufacturing materials, fax over Jim uniform. Now we are doing this for our manufacturer FRG, so I'll open this file. It was stored in the folder for him. But typically, I'll show you also where generally we keep our all our promos under templates. If you scroll all the way to the bottom here, there's a folder in here called promos. And our promos start from 1001, and each time we create a new promo, we increment it. And there's a CorelDRAW file in there. And most of the folders have a JPEG version of it also that we'll be using for the faxing. Right now we are up to 1070. So what we want to do now is actually export this file, because we cannot use a CorelDRAW file to create a fax version out of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on the square, and it's going to add superimpose a background in here just to show you that. It's actually all I need to do is double click and add a square in the background. I'll color that square white, and I'll turn off the outline. So right now there's no outline on it. What I want to do also, I need to add attention in here. Who is this fax going to? So in here, put ATTN. We'll change this font. We actually highlight this. We'll change this font, the matching font, so Arial Black. And we're gonna put it right at the top here. Let's shrink this down a bit. Okay, so the attention, the person name gonna go in there. Okay, so what we want to do now is export this file as a JPEG. So go File, Export. We're gonna select the same folder this original file came from. So back to templates, back to FRG. I will call it fax or Jim inform. That's fine. Hit export. And here we need to make sure the resolution is at least 300. 150 can work fine for some things, but to be on the safe side, you get a proper resolution. Make sure the resolution is 300. Anti-aliasing is on, and you mean to the aspect ratio. These are the main settings that have to be checked. Okay. Okay. Okay, we go ahead and close the file. Yes, save changes to it. Now, we want to move back into our fax server to actually create our cover page now. So resume into the fax server, go to cover pages, right click in this pane and click new. You want to create a new cover page now, okay? Now we can use the design wizard, or we can actually just give us something that's 8.5 by 11 users without using any tools itself. It's going to give us a blank template. Now, I need to make a copy of the images. Okay. So right now, I actually have to browse to where I have the file located. This is a JPEG file I recently exported. So I know it's on the file store, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to go in the file store again. There's a folder called templates. Okay, so now we need to actually browse through the file. So go to start, go to run, um, type in forward slash file store, or backward slash that is. Go into file store, go into templates, go into FRG, that's where we actually place the JPEG. You will want to copy this JPEG from here and put it into the local My Documents folder. Now, reason being, if you're sending about 300 faxes, WinFax will actually, for each fax it actually creates, it will want to go off to the network or retrieve this image. Now, that will consume quite a bit of bandwidth. Now, to actually stop that from happening on the network, make a local copy to the computer so it will speed up the process. In the template pane again, select the image icon. Now, what you want to do is click on the top left hand corner and drag the box to the size of the fax that you want to be on the template. Now it's going to ask you for the file now, so select the file name, go to My Documents, and open a JPEG that you recently copied over. Click Applied, click OK. Now it's squished everything, so all you need to do is actually just grab the middle anchor point and pull downwards. So you want to do this again, scroll down, pull downwards, scroll down, pull downwards until you have the fax to the way of your liking. You might want to also pull this down a bit more so you have extra room at the top here to put the person's name. Now, before we actually save this file, we need to add the recipient who this fax is going to. So we will click on Insert Recipient. Remember, we import all the information into the first name field, both the first name and last name. So select first name, move that in place. What you want to do is select the cursor tool here, and what we're going to do, we're going to remove the word first name itself and just leave the at symbol and the F for first name. You want to extend this. You want to put this in a similar font, so Arial Black, bold it is fine, or actually leave it on bold. Now, this black border, select the border, go to properties. You want to turn off that border. So on the border, say no border, apply. Okay, and it will turn it off. Now, usually it's hard to align things in WinFax, so you're not going to get this perfectly straight. So make it as close as possible. Last thing what you want to do, make sure you did stretch it out all the way. So in case somebody have a really long name, that it's not being truncated, that you have enough room, the entire top of the fax, to actually to fit someone's name. Before we finish here, you need to save the file. So hit File, Save As. Okay, it will actually, the field is not going to be editable. That's fine. We don't need that. In here, give the fax a name. So let's call it Gym Uniforms. We're going to set this as our default cover page with description again going to be Gym Uniforms. Oops, YM Gym Uniforms. Click on the Save button. Okay, it's been added in the general library. Okay, so in the general library now, let me just minimize this or close this actually. There's a new one highlighted in blue called Gym Uniforms. Now, the moment I go to File, New, I want to do a new, wow, where is the toolbar? View, toolbar, okay. So what I want to do is actually send a fax, so I click on the Send button. The Gym Uniform one will be selected by default. Over here, the recipient list will load up. So let me just pull this down and let me show you this. So the phone book that we created earlier have those couple folders for the week. So since today is Monday, I select Monday and I'll drag and drop this folder into the recipient window. So it's quickly going to add those 370 something contacts in here. And obviously you can do certain things in here now. We can do really neat things by selecting all the faxes by pressing Ctrl A while you was in the recipient window. Click on the schedule button. And you can actually set a delivery date whether you want to send it instantly or schedule it for the next day. So you can do something as a specific time and day by selecting whichever time you want to start it at on whichever day. So say for example you want to set it for the following morning to start at 8 o'clock. You can type in 8:00 a.m. and let's set it for well, let's do for example third. I can hit apply and OK, and on that day these set of faxes will be sent out. Once you hit send, all of them will be moved into the outbox folder. I'm just gonna go ahead and close this actually and cancel this event. The outbox folder here, all those faxes will appear. The sent ones will appear in the sent log folder, and that's about it for actually sending a fax.